Good Monday morning. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. Right now on Morning News Now, a broken community. Terror in Colorado Springs over the weekend turns to mourning and remembrance as a new week dawns after a lone gunman opened fire at an LGBTQ nightclub there Saturday night, killing 5 people and injuring dozens more.
Our safe space is no longer our safe space, and we are a broken community.
We've got team coverage of this latest tragedy this morning, the victims' conditions, response from the White House, and a community now working to rebuild. Round 2, a second special counsel investigation for former President Trump, focusing on January 6th and the document search at Mar-a-Lago. We'll take a closer look at the former federal prosecutor leading the probe and how it could impact Trump in 2024. Plus, the former president's Twitter account is back, but the question remains, will he tweet again? Also this morning, a winter walloping in western New York as people in and around Buffalo work to dig themselves out from a historic lake-effect storm that dropped up to 6 feet of snow in some parts. We're on the ground this morning with the aftermath and how the state is stepping in to help. Plus, one-on-one with 7-time Olympic gold medalist Katie Ledecky, her latest achievements out of the water as she looks ahead to the Paris Summer Games in 2024. We begin, of course, in Colorado Springs this morning with the latest developments on that deadly mass shooting.
Police say the 22-year-old suspect walked into the LGBTQ nightclub and opened fire on the crowd. At least 5 people were killed, more than 24 others hurt, before authorities say 2 patrons were able to wrestle him to the ground. Now, the names of the victims have not yet been released, but witnesses say some of the injuries occurred as people were scrambling to escape the gunfire. Outside the club, mourners gathered to leave flowers and cards, what was supposed to be a symbol of security and freedom, a once safe space that has now turned into a crime scene.
Yeah, we can rebuild. Yeah, people can donate time, money, and stuff, whatever, support, or I'm here for you, cute. But that's not going to bring back those 5 people. That's not going to take away the stain that he has now left on our community. How can we even feel safe?
We have full coverage this morning. We're going to talk to psychotherapist Dr. Robbie Ludwig about the mental health impact of the attack. We'll get the latest on the victim's conditions from the chief medical officer of the UC Health Memorial Hospital. But we are going to start with the very latest on what happened with NBC News terrorism analyst Evan Coleman and NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson, who's live outside the club in Colorado. So, Priscilla, what is the latest we're learning this morning?
Well, Joe, good morning. The memorial behind me is continuing to grow as people in this community work to make sense of those 5 people who were killed and 25 injured. What we know at this point is that the suspected shooter is in custody. He is hospitalized. He was also injured here, but police say that they are working to talk to him and try to understand why exactly this happened. They're also obtaining search warrants to search his home, to look at his social media accounts, and also talking to his family and friends to try to better understand the motive. Obviously, a lot of people here concerned and calling this a hate crime, something that police are also investigating to see, did he show that he had targeted hate for the LGBTQ plus community. And I've been speaking to people as they have been coming to this memorial, some of them just becoming overwhelmed with emotion, falling to their knees in tears. And I spoke to one of those people, Sophie, and I want to play a little bit of what they shared with me about how it feels in this moment. Take a listen.
I think that for all queer people, all transgender people living in this community, you wake up and think, wow, that could have been me. That could have been my sibling. Like, living as transgender people is like, it's beautiful, and yet it is so hard. And I know that those were loved ones for someone, and that is just really heavy in my heart.
And what is clear is that this was a safe space for so many people in this community, and that has been completely shattered after this incident. Joe?
And Priscilla, police say if not for the bravery of at least 2 club patrons, this attack actually could have been even worse. So what do we know about those people? How were they able to subdue the shooter?
Absolutely. So what we're told by police is that this shooter walked in and just immediately began shooting. And within 1 minute, 2 of these patrons were able to fight back against the shooter. The mayor actually said that one of them was able to get the gun and hit the shooter with it and sort of subdue that shooter. Within 3 minutes, police were on the ground here, and all of this in about 5 minutes, that suspect was arrested. They were able to get paramedics and first responders inside to begin caring for those victims and getting them to the hospital. And I want to play a little bit of what police had to say about those heroic people that acted so quickly in this moment. Take a listen.
While the suspect was inside of the club, at least 2 heroic people inside the club confronted and fought with the suspect and were able to stop the suspect from continuing to kill and harm others. We owe them a great debt of thanks.
And we don't know yet who those heroic people are, but folks that we've spoken to, including a bartender inside as this unfolded, very grateful, saying that those people likely saved his life. Joe?
Evan, I want to bring you in now. I mean, the club is calling this a hate attack, so are so many others, but officials have yet to confirm a possible motive. I mean, Priscilla mentioned they're going to try to interview this gunman, his family and friends. How do authorities go about questioning this suspect now and try to get some answers as to why he did this?
Unfortunately, we have too much expertise in how to do this now because there have been too many cases like this. The first thing that they're going to look at is any connections that he might have had, particularly over social media. Unfortunately, whether it is individuals that have been motivated by, ISIS and al-Qaeda, by right-wing or white supremacist extremist beliefs, whether it's people that are simply motivated by various other forms of hate, ultimately the trail usually leads to their computer. What websites were they visiting? What social media groups were they a part of in terms of their phone? Who were they chatting with? And trying to figure out whether or not there really were extremist motivations here, or whether or not this person was simply a very disturbed individual and just decided to act out on this particular night. It's very difficult to know right now.
Evan, this is drawing comparisons to the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando in 2016 when 49 people were killed. The FBI's hate crimes report showed that in 2020, 20% of hate crimes targeted the LGBTQ community, a number that's actually been going up. I mean, what is happening here? Why do we continue to see violence targeting the LGBTQ community?
Yeah, it's hard to understand. It's very disturbing, too. If you look at it, you have, 2 very, very different ideologies that went into these 2 different attacks, and yet the result is the same. And in fact, even today, even right now, overnight, you had statements from al-Qaeda and al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula targeting the LGBTQ community, which is, bizarre. It's like, what is the connection there? For whatever reason, these various different extremist groups across the different, the different spectrum, they've decided that this is an issue that they can latch onto. They're talking about how Western laws are in violation of religion or whatever else. It's something that they feel appeals to their constituency, whatever that constituency is. So it is something we have to look at because it's not just one area. It's not just white supremacists. It's not just right-wing extremists. There are a whole bunch of different extremists that are using this issue right now in order to try to gain a following.
Priscilla Thompson and Evan Coleman, thank you both for starting us off this hour. We appreciate it.
Let's now bring in Dr. David Steinbruner for more. He's the Chief Medical Officer of the UC Health Memorial Hospital. Doctor, thank you for being with us right now. I know your team is in charge of mobilization to treat patients during mass casualty events, and you're actually currently treating at least 10 victims from this shooting. First, what can you tell us about what you're seeing in the condition of some of the victims?
Good morning. So in many ways, it's business as usual at the hospital. We absorbed the large influx of traumatically injured patients. And if you were to walk around the hospital right now, you might not even be aware that it had occurred. In other ways, it's still having ramifications psychologically, both on the staff and everybody else, just because of the impact of sort of violence and hatred like this. And our hearts reach out to the community like that because they are us and we are them. Overall. The patients actually are rallying quite well. We have a very professional trauma team, and they're able to take care of pretty severe traumatic injuries, no matter how bad they are, on an ongoing basis. And if you remember, trauma doesn't just happen at the moment. It goes on for weeks and months as people try to recover.
Absolutely. And I know that you unfortunately know this well. It's not the first time you've dealt with shooting victims. Two questions here on your staff, just sort of how are they trained to respond in situations like these? And then you mentioned the psychological ramifications here for them. What is this process like for them?
So the staff sort of train this way all the time. We do simulations all the time for traumatically injured patients that may be complex to get all the different parts moving. And if you think about it, because we're a very busy level 1 trauma center here in Colorado, we actually do this on a fairly regular basis where we'll get multiple casualties at the same time, depending on the accident or the injuries. And we've even dealt with multiple gunshot wounds or other traumatic injuries at the same time. The psychology of this is, for the most part, as a team trains and does a good job being able to save people, it's very uplifting to know that all that training was put to good use and you were able to be successful. So that gives you support and the support of your team. The difficult part is thinking about the implications of what this means for our community and those around us. And probably many people in our hospital have been touched by this personally, because I know people who have been at that club or related to people who have been at that club.
Absolutely. We're going to dig a little bit more into that conversation here on set in just a moment. But, Doctor, before I let you go, I do just want to ask you, unfortunately, sadly, these shooting events are becoming so common in our country. How can hospitals and medical professionals best prepare for an emergency like this?
You pretty much have to train all the time as though it could happen in your community at that time. And so you have to both work with law enforcement, you have to work with paramedics and EMTs and fire department, and just think about all the moving parts in the hospital and around the different systems in the hospital and make sure you can absorb a large number of patients in a very short period of time. We also work with other hospital systems to make sure that we sort of spread it around the city so not any one system is overwhelmed.
Dr. David Steiner, thank you so much for your time this morning, and we're thinking about your community and your staff.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
President Biden joined people around the country in mourning the victims of the attack and called for action on gun violence. Consoler-in-chief is a role the president knows well. Shortly after the shooting, he released a statement saying, in part, places that are supposed to be safe spaces of acceptance and celebration should never be turned into places of terror and violence. Yet it happens far too often. We must drive out the inequities that contribute to violence against LGBTQI+ people. We cannot and must not tolerate hate. The president also pointed to his signing of legislation aimed at preventing gun violence earlier this year, but said more must be done and urged a ban on assault weapons.
Dr. Robbie Ludwig is here with us on set now to discuss the impact this is having on the LGBT community. She's a psychotherapist as well as an award-winning reporter. Doctor, good morning. Thanks so much for being here to have this tough conversation. So members of the LGBTQ community in Colorado Springs are speaking out following the shooting, talking about what this is like for them. First, let's listen to some of that, and we'll talk on the other side.
This is not an easy day. This is a lot to just wake up to as a transgender person living in Colorado Springs. This is a hard city to live in already, so waking up to something this in your face is just a reminder of the hate that we live with in this city every day and the love that we need to fight it with.
Let's talk about what an event like this does to shatter a sort of sense of security, a sense of safety. What we're sort of hearing there, too, is in a city where maybe somebody already doesn't feel that protected or that safe. What does a safe space like something like this club, Club Q, mean to a community?
Well, everyone should feel safe in their community, and especially with the LGBTQ community, they are at a higher risk of being victimized by violence. And when these mass shootings happen, they're at an increased rate of depression, anxiety, in the younger population, even suicidality. And the community safety is compromised during these times. And it's devastating, and it's even more far-reaching. So it's not just based on proximity. They've done a lot of studies to show because of television and the globalization of media, people who are watching this feel afraid for themselves, as they should, and might not even want to go out. So we have a real problem here because there is a social contagion component to some of these crimes.
We don't know the motive yet, but we do know we have seen an increase in recent years in anti-LGBTQ laws and legislation being introduced. We've seen this rise in hate crimes against the queer community. I saw an article on NBCNews.com in the wake of this where people who live in the community are simply saying they were feeling a little bit scared to go out because of all the tensions. What's the mental health impact of all of that, especially in the wake of the shooting? But even before that, a lot of people were feeling this uneasiness.
Well, I think it's really important to get the support that you need, whether it's coming from your community or a mental health professional, just to feel like you have the mental support that you need. And also, I think a great anecdote is to be part of the solution. We know so much more about these crimes. We used to think it was a mentally ill person who just was triggered at the wrong moment. Now we know that's not the case. It's usually these mass shootings are based on prejudice and hatred, and they're planned. So to do a behavioral risk assessment has been highly effective in terms of reducing these kinds of crimes, and to work also with the NRA in terms of finding some type of mutual solution for both. Nobody wants to see these crimes happen.
Let's talk about some coping mechanisms here. Maybe if you are part of the LGBTQ community anywhere in the country and this is triggering feelings of fear or anxiety, what are some ways to cope with that?
Well, I think, first of all, to talk about it and figure out ways that you can feel safe. What can you do to protect yourself? What does that look like? If it means avoiding certain spaces, maybe do that for a period of time, and also really be a part of a community of action. So if you're part of the solution, you don't feel as powerless, and I think that's what a lot of people in the community are trying to do in order to feel safer and more empowered.
All right, Dr. Robbie Ludwig, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We do want to talk about the weather this morning with a busy travel week ahead. In the Northeast, millions of people are digging out after that record-breaking snowstorm.
Yes, snowfall in Buffalo, New York reached historic highs over the weekend, setting a new record with more than 16 inches in just 24 hours on Saturday.
NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra joins us now from Orchard Park near Buffalo with the latest, where I think they're still digging out. Marissa, good morning. What is the situation like there, and how does this compare to past snowstorms in an area that knows snow pretty well?
Right. I mean, Buffalo's no stranger to snow, but even people like Governor Hochul had said, okay, yeah, we're used to snow, but this is definitely one to still tell the grandkids about. So real quick, I just want to set the scene for where we are. You can see a giant mound, a giant mountain of snow behind me, probably a mixture of snow from surrounding streets in addition to maybe a little bit from the stadium where the Bills are normally supposed to play. It's about a mile away. They've been working all through the night, taking a much-deserved break right now, but they have been working around the clock to clear those streets while people are asleep. And you mentioned how this compares to past snowstorms. I mean, Buffalo still remembers 2014. That was also a massive snowstorm that caused a lot of damage, and unfortunately roughly a dozen people died from that one. So a big part of the messaging for this snowstorm was to not have a repeat of that one. And so they were really, really strict about the travel bans to prevent people from being on the road, which not everybody followed, and travel advisories to try to keep people as safe as possible. But the one thing that they cannot really have any control over is those roof collapses, and that is something that we did see in 2014.
Now, Marissa, 11 counties are still in a state of emergency this morning. What kind of impact has the storm had on people? What's being done to help?
Right. So when we talk about the impact on people, we've spoken to so many. I mean, one of the most obvious ones being the people that were stranded. We just saw cars abandoned for miles. We're talking about people who were on their way back from vacation in Niagara Falls, people who were trying to get ahead of Thanksgiving travel, perhaps, and then even people who might have been around the area, truckers who were trying to offload deliveries. I want to give you guys a sense of just how bad this got for people. When they got stranded, they had to head to warming shelters. Take a listen to one guy we spoke to who was quite literally woken up the next morning after zero visibility. He was trying to push the car. He woke up the next morning being carried by first responders to a warming shelter.
So I've been here almost 24 hours and it's frustrating. I can't get anywhere. Even get my car on, I'm buried.
We're literally stuck in our cars, just running off of gas cans. Not even like all the gas stations are closed. Nobody can make it to work. So we literally we were knocking on people's house doors and we got gas and food.
So obviously a scary situation for a lot of people as they were trying to stay warm, trying to figure out where they were going to hunker down and weather out this storm if they don't in fact live here. But then the other factor here is you got to imagine all the businesses. I could probably count the businesses that were open in the area on one hand, if that, on Friday and Saturday. They couldn't even get their doors open, let alone get into their businesses. So when we talk about the cost of all of this, that is certainly a factor. And then, of course, we're hoping, we only saw one roof collapse reported so far. We're hoping that number doesn't climb in the coming days.
No kidding. All right, Marissa, thank you so much for your reporting. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Stay warm. And now let's get more info on this record-breaking snowstorm.
Yeah, meteorologist Michelle Grossman joins us with that and more. Hey, Michelle.
Hey there, guys. Great to see you. Happy Monday. And yeah, we saw 80 inches of snow in Orchard Park, New York. That is unbelievable. Over 6.5 feet of snow. The good news is it's quiet today. We're seeing those Great Lakes kind of wind down in terms of any snowfall. We're going to see some gusty winds, so it's going to blow around the snow, but we're not really going to see that snow falling. We are looking at showers, though, across the south. We're actually relatively quiet today, which is good news on a Monday holiday week. This is really rare, too, for a Thanksgiving week to have some quiet days ahead of us. But we are looking at a stationary front that's bringing showers and storms to portions of the southern plains. You can see rain falling right now, especially in portions of southern Texas, also southern Florida. That's going to be the theme not only today, but also tomorrow. We're looking at heavy rain where you see the brighter colors, the yellows, the reds, the oranges, so near Austin and Houston, and also Miami. And that's going to be a nearly stationary front that's going to bring that over the next couple of days. So scattered rain from Texas to southern Florida. And then as we go throughout Tuesday, we're going to see pockets of rain continuing in Florida, rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. And we're going to see that sort of lift further to the north and in northern and central Florida. And the heaviest rain is going to fall on the eastern portions of the coast of Florida. So you can see near Melbourne, some brighter colors there, especially the reds. We're going to see over 2 inches of rain in some spots. But you see some yellows and oranges, too, from North Florida down to central into portions of southern Florida. So we have the clouds in place. We have some rain falling. We also have some cooler air. So it's a chilly start in the southern plains also. That's really where most of the activity is on this Monday. But it's chilly, too, in Boston, 41 degrees. That's 8 degrees or 9 degrees below normal. 48 degrees in San Antonio, New Orleans, 60 degrees. Tomorrow we'll keep it chilly before we start to moderate these temperatures. So 59 in Corpus Christi, 16 degrees below average tomorrow, 59 in Houston, 64 in Albany, Georgia, and 57 in Charlotte. So as we look towards the week ahead, we're looking at abundant sunshine. That's good news, you guys. We have high pressure in place for most of us. So we're looking at dry conditions, although chilly, and the soggy conditions are really in the southern plains along the Gulf Coast. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Sure.
Now to Washington and the appointment of a special counsel to oversee the federal investigations into former President Donald Trump.
Yeah, Attorney General Merrick Garland named Jack Smith as the special counsel to lead the probes into Trump's role on January 6th, along with the former president's handling of classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago residence. Smith most recently served as the chief prosecutor at The Hague, investigating war crimes in Kosovo. Let's bring in NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delaney in for more on this. Hey, Ken, good to see you. So before we jump in, let's listen to part of Garland's announcement that just happened Friday.
I strongly believe that the normal processes of this department can handle all investigations with integrity. And I also believe that appointing a special counsel at this time is the right thing to do. The extraordinary circumstances presented here demand it.
Let's talk about what these extraordinary circumstances are here. Ken, what is Garland referring to there? What does this appointment mean for both investigations going forward?
Good morning, Savannah. Well, Garland was pretty explicit about what he thought the extraordinary circumstances were. He referred to them in his remarks. He said that, one, that Donald Trump has announced his candidacy for presidency, and two, that the current occupant of the White House, Joe Biden, has expressed his intention to run. And so Garland believes that puts the Justice Department in an untenable position. It creates the appearance of a conflict of interest. He didn't say there was an actual conflict. He said he believes that the department is capable of carrying out these investigations independently and with integrity, but he thought it was better for the country to appoint this special counsel. And what it means for these investigations really remains to be seen, because they are pretty far down the track, much farther than, say, the Trump-Russia investigation was when Robert Mueller was appointed special counsel. Mueller hired his own people, created a team. In this case, it appears that Jack Smith will inherit a team and an investigation and may really only be making charging decisions rather than overseeing the investigation, which has already gone pretty far, it is pretty far gone down the road. But we'll have to see. It could. Special counsels tend to occupy the space that's created, and they tend to take longer than a typical prosecutor.
So Ken, what else do we know about Jack Smith and the experience that he brings to these investigations?
Well, Joe, Jack Smith obviously is not a household name. He's certainly not a Robert Mueller, but he is well known within legal circles. He headed the Justice Department's Public Integrity Section, which is its anti-corruption unit. So he's very familiar with cases involving politicians, money in politics, alleged corruption. He began his career as a line prosecutor in New York City. As you mentioned, his most recent job was investigating war crimes in The Hague, war crimes in Kosovo. He's a man with a reputation as a dogged and aggressive prosecutor, but straight down the middle. And in fact, Justice Department officials made a point of telling reporters that he is a registered independent.
Ken, what's the reaction to this appointment been from Donald Trump himself, and what do you see happening next year?
Well, Savannah, not surprisingly, Trump has already labeled Smith as an anti-Trumper without any evidence, and he's said that this whole investigation is political and biased, and he's not going to participate. But Trump was never going to be swayed by this. The Justice Department knew that. This decision was made for the sort of the vast middle of the country that's not really paying attention. And what comes next is, particularly with the Mar-a-Lago case, it really looks like they are building a trial team. They brought in some prosecutors with trial experience. We could see charging decisions in that case very soon. In the January 6th investigation into the attempts to overturn the election, that one's more of a wild card. It could take much longer, guys.
All right, Ken Delanian, thank you so much.
Welcome back. Former President Trump's Twitter account has been reinstated by the social media company's new owner, Elon Musk.
Yeah, it comes nearly 2 years after Trump was permanently suspended following the January 6th attack at the Capitol. NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba has the latest.
Donald Trump's Twitter account restored nearly 2 years after the former president was suspended due to the risk of further incitement of violence in the wake of the January 6th attack. The ban, once intended to be permanent, reversed by new Twitter owner Elon Musk, who polled users on whether Mr. Trump should be allowed back, writing after 51.8% voted in favor, "The people have spoken. Trump will be reinstated." Hours earlier, Mr. Trump indicated he wouldn't return to the platform, opting to stay on his own site, Truth Social.
Here we're getting a big vote to also go back on Twitter. I don't see it because I don't see any reason for it.
Trump critic Congressman Adam Schiff called the reinstatement a, quote, terrible mistake.
The president used that platform to incite that attack on the Capitol. His comments about the vice president, his own vice president, put Mike Pence's life in danger.
The former vice president speaking out on Meet the Press Sunday, stopping short of saying whether he believes Mr. Trump is fit to serve as president for another 4 years.
I really do believe that's a decision for the American people.
I am tonight announcing my candidacy.
Mr. Pence likely to join him in the 2024 presidential race. As another possible candidate, President Joe Biden turned 80, the oldest commander-in-chief in U.S. history, who says he intends to seek another term, though no final decision has been made.
President Biden says he and the First Lady will take time over the upcoming holidays to weigh the pros and cons of another run, likely making a final decision early next year. Back to you.
All right, Monica, thank you so much. And as of this morning, the former president still had not tweeted from the account.
So Tweet Watch continues. All right, let's take a look at what else is making news around the world this morning, starting with the World Cup now underway in Qatar.
NBC News foreign correspondent Janice Mackey-Frere joins us now from Beijing with more. Hey, Janice, good morning.
Hey, good morning. The World Cup is underway in Qatar, and there is no shortage of controversy either, with concerns around migrant workers, human rights, and corruption. Just days ago, organizers abruptly banned alcohol, which was a bit awkward for Budweiser's sponsorship of the event. The first Middle Eastern country to host a World Cup, it has spent more than $200 billion so far. It's also a relatively new sport to Qatar, and they became the first ever nation to host a World Cup and lose their opening match. They did so by a score of 2-0 to Ecuador. Here in Beijing, stores, schools, and restaurants are closed in the city's biggest district to contain an outbreak of COVID cases. Sounds a little like 2020, doesn't it? Even though just last week, officials announced that they were tweaking the tough zero COVID policy to ease restrictions on the economy and people. Beijing has recorded its first COVID death in about 6 months. The government here now saying it's the most complicated phase of the pandemic yet, but there is a lot of confusion, I can tell you, around these new rules and how people are supposed to live with them. And finally, in New Zealand, a person's first election day could come sooner than expected if the government decides to lower the national voting age. It's currently 18. They're thinking of changing it to 16 because people went to court to argue it's age discrimination. Now, it would require a supermajority among lawmakers, that's 75%, but young people with the Make It 16 campaign argue they're going to inherit these issues like climate change, pandemic recovery, as well as the future of democracy, and so they want to have a say in those issues now. And that is a look at your morning headlines.
Interesting. Wonder if that would pick up around the country or around the world.
Yeah, definitely something to keep our eyes on. Yeah.
Thanks, Janice.
Thank you.
You probably know this, but Thanksgiving is just 3 days away, and then the holiday shopping season, well, that's already in full swing.
Yeah, not for me. I haven't started quite yet. All right, if you're looking, though, for ideas on what to get your friends and family, Google has released its annual shopping list of the top 100 holiday gifts.
Joining us now for more on this year's hottest gifts is Aya Kanai, the head of editorial and creative for shopping at Google. Aya, good to have you with us. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, help us understand, how do you decide what even makes the cut? What goes into figuring that out?
Right. So customers shop on Google over 1 billion times every single day.
Oh, my goodness.
And because of that, we really wanted to pull together a list of 100 gift ideas based on trending searches of 2022.
And I know one of the things that's on there, something we've been talking about for a while now, this sensation that's swept the nation, pickleball. How popular is it, and what are the gifts associated with the sport?
Right. So pickleball is definitely the breakout star of 2022. It is up on Google search over 500%. So it is such a fun game for your friends and family. I mean, you could even be playing it over Thanksgiving with your family. And of course, pickleball paddles are a great gift for the holidays.
Health and fitness is really a huge category. Of course, for years now, we've been aware of smart watches, but I also understand there's a smart ring. I mean, talk to us about that and sort of this rise in health tracking jewelry.
Yeah, so health tracking jewelry is up 200% on our platform because, you know, we all want jewelry that makes sense with our outfit, but consumers are also really interested in tracking their sleep, tracking their fitness. So you can do all of that and also go with your outfit.
And now there's a ring, not just the bracelets people were wearing that people are into.
Right. It's so cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. All right. Also in the beauty category, this is something I've seen. I have some friends who have these little mini fridges for your beauty products. What's the benefit there?
Right. It's so fun. So a skincare fridge can go into your bathroom. It keeps all of your beauty products cool. You can pull them off of Google in any color that you want at any price that you want. So it really is a fun gift, and you can make it match your bathroom decor.
Can you fit a beer in it?
I think you could. I think you could.
just curious.
Really,
just
it's
wondering.
for your skincare, your serums, lots of fun.
All right. So, I mean, you know, everyone is talking about the economy. Everyone's talking about inflation right now. I mean, how big of an impact could that have? Are there concerns it's going to have an impact on shopping in the holiday season this year?
Well, what's interesting, because customers are searching for deals on Google every single day, as I mentioned, 1 billion searches for shopping-related products on our platform every day. They're searching for deals all the time. So we actually built those tools directly into our product. So you can shop on Google by what's on sale. You can use our price comparison tools. And of course, you can also search by various different price ranges depending on the product that you're looking for. So we really have that available for customers 365 days a year.
And really, deals are constant now. It's not just Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It feels like there's just always something that you can be keeping an eye out for.
Absolutely. And so that's something that was really important to us as we developed our shopping tools to make sure that customers were getting the best deal.
Yeah, very cool. Aya, thanks for joining us right as we're kicking off this big shopping week, Black Friday later on. All right, thank you so much.
Appreciate
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Today in New York, USA Swimming is recognizing some of its best athletes with the annual Golden Goggle Awards.
Yeah, some of the awards handed out include Breakout Performer of the Year, Coach of the Year, as well as Female Athlete and Male Athletes of the Year. And one of the nominees is one of the most decorated Olympians of all time, Katie Ledecky. And it's our pleasure to welcome Katie to the show this morning. Katie, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your time. It's good to see you. Now, we know you're a 7-time winner, actually, of the Golden Goggles Female Athlete of the Year award that we just mentioned. And no surprise, you're up for it again tonight. What's it like to be recognized by your peers like this?
Well, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be recognized, and it's so much fun to celebrate with Team USA. We're celebrating our World Championship performance from this past year in Budapest, and we raise a lot of money for the USA Swimming Foundation, which helps teach people how to swim and make sure that every community around the country has learn to swim programs. And it's really great to support that this evening.
So, Katie, it's not an Olympic year, but you have remained very competitive in the pool. In fact, just last month in Toronto, I want to make sure I get this right, you broke the world record for the fastest time ever in the 1,500 meter, clocking in at 15 minutes and 8 seconds. 10 seconds faster than the previous record. And here's my favorite. You were 40 seconds faster than the runner-up. So that was not close. I mean, how does this stack up in your long list of accomplishments? And is this your favorite event?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun over the past month swimming some short course meters races. I actually broke 2 world records in the 1,500 and the 800 free in back-to-back weeks. So it was a lot of fun just to race some short course meters. It's not the Olympic size pool. It's not something I've done very often. So it's fun to just get in there and start my season off on a good note.
Earlier this year, you mentioned the World Championships a minute ago. Well, you won your 21st career World Swimming Championships medal, breaking a tie with another great swimmer, Natalie Coughlin, for most won by a woman all time. What was that experience like for you? And are there any personal goals you want to achieve that you haven't yet done so? I mean, you're so decorated in so many ways. It's so cool to get to talk to you this morning. Tell us what that was like and what you're looking forward to next.
Yeah, I had a great time competing with Team USA in Budapest at the World Championships this year. We had a really great showing, and I was really happy with my performance. And I'm looking forward to the next couple of years. We have Paris in 2024. We have another World Championships this coming year in Japan. And so I'm working towards some new goals that I have for myself. I always have goals on the horizon that I'm shooting for, and I'm just going to keep working hard.
You teed up my next question here, talking about the Olympics. I mean, during last year's Summer Olympics, you had another great run. You won 2 gold and 2 silver medals. We're just going to spend this segment just listing off all of your accomplishments, by the way. You're the most successful female swimmer in American history, 6 individual gold medals. So how much are the 2024 Games in Paris on your mind right now? Is that something you think about now to prepare for, or when do you really get going thinking about that?
Yeah, we're training hard. We only really take a week or 2 off at the end of each summer. So every year there's something that we're shooting for. It's the same competition at the World Championships typically that it is at an Olympic Games. So it'll be another good test this next coming year as we prepare for Paris. And it's coming up quickly. It's only a year and a half away, and got to get in the work now.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. All right, Katie, we do want to ask you, we're talking about all these wonderful accomplishments, all those medals we just saw in that last picture. You have obviously so much incredible stuff going on in your life. Thanksgiving just a few days away. What are you thankful for this year?
Oh, I'm thankful for a lot. I'm thankful for my family, not just my immediate family, but all my cousins, aunts, uncles, my 96-year-old grandma in North Dakota. Thankful for her health of my family, and I'm excited to celebrate Thanksgiving with some of my family this week.
Oh, well, you deserve it. Congratulations on all your achievements. Good luck tonight. We'll be watching. Katie Ledecky, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. Thanks.
Welcome back. Wedding bells were ringing down Pennsylvania Avenue this weekend. President Biden's granddaughter, Naomi, married Peter Neal on Saturday on the south lawn of the White House. She wore a custom dress by Ralph Lauren. That's the same designer who dressed President Biden for his 2021 inauguration. Naomi is the first grandchild of a sitting president to have a White House wedding, and her wedding was actually only the 19th ever held at the famous address. What a venue.
It's always cool to see the old video and photos of weddings that have taken place at the White House.
It's
so
very
nostalgic.
cool. And beautiful pictures from this one.
Exactly.
Oh, congratulations.
All right. Now, we are only 3 days from Thanksgiving, as you hopefully know by now. If you're planning to host this year for the first time in a while, there's likely one task that might be stressing you out, and that's carving the turkey.
I'm hosting, and my list of things stressing me out is a lot longer than that one, but that's definitely on it. So
but now let's add that one, too.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you wow your guests by successfully completing the last big task before you all sit down to eat?
Joining us now to share his expertise is Paul Kelly. He's a turkey farmer and the managing director of Kelly Bronze Turkeys. Paul, good to have you with us. It looks like you are all set to explain this to us. So, I mean, tell us, what are the basics for successfully carving a turkey this Thanksgiving? Walk us through the steps we really need to know.
Okay, I think so. So rule number one, you really do need a sharp knife. You will not successfully carve a turkey if you haven't got a sharp knife. And a sharp knife is a safe knife. Number two, people, maybe they're carving the bird when it's too hot. You really need to take the bird out of the oven and let it rest. So when you do start to carve it, it's cool enough for you to handle. Okay? And then people look at this turkey and they just start attacking it with a knife and just start cutting stuff off. You really, I can do it very, very quickly here. I've got half the bird, I've carved half of it. You just need to take the primals off. You take that wing off, like that. Then you just cut that leg down, and peel the whole of the leg off, cut it off. And then we cut the whole of the breast off. You sharp knife again, and take the whole of the breast off. Yeah? So you're breaking the bird down into what it's called, what we call its primals. So when you've got the breast lobe like that, you see, you can then carve beautiful slices of turkey meat.
Wow.
Very, very easy.
Wow.
We actually had turkey last night. We did our things.
The breast, it's got a beautiful bite on the meat. You're not going across the grain, you're going through the grain. And again, with the leg, if you've taken the whole of the leg off, you can then peel the skin off and carve lovely slices of leg meat. And if you carve it like this, if you take the wing, the leg, and the breast off first, and then carve it, you'll get about 15 to 20% more servings than you will having it on the bone.
That's a lot.
That's amazing.
And don't carve if you're too drunk, if you're intoxicated.
Always
That's
good
the
advice.
tip I
Always
needed
good
to
advice.
hear. Yeah.
I was just saying,
Yeah.
we did turkey dinner last night because we were just doing Thanksgiving dinner a little early. We'll do it again on Thursday. And what you just did in 30 seconds took us about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and in fact, you may know or you may not know that you actually hold the Guinness World Record for the fastest time to carve a turkey, coming in at 3 minutes, 19 seconds.
Yeah, I did a 15-pound turkey into 15 equal servings. All plated with gravy in 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Available for hire on Thanksgiving Day. How's that?
How did you get so good at this and so into this?
Well, it's just, I've grown up and I was 8 years old when my parents started the business. So, I just lived turkey. I even talk turkey, you see. It's crazy, isn't it? So it's my whole life. And, just carving it like this, when you start to work with birds, carving it like this, you're trying to get the most out of the bird. And you just find ways of doing things. And this is so simple, really. That's the great thing about it.
And the best part, I think, about Thanksgiving is the leftovers. So do you have any tips about what we should be doing with those leftovers?
Well, there is loads of leftover recipes, isn't there? But this is the one I like the most. Is like, I've got a plate. I've got all sorts of turkey meat here. Whatever's left over, you just put it together, even a bit of skin. Yeah, you take the meat out of the wing, peel that off. And then what I do is anything that's left over and pick the carcass up, and pull all the meat off it and scrape everything off. And then you put it in a pile and you cut it up, chop it into fine pieces, into a pan with a bit of butter, pan fry it in butter for just 3 or 4 minutes to warm it up. Then I end up putting it in a wrap. And then whatever's loaded with your cranberry and your stuffing, mayonnaise, whatever you've got left over or anything that you love as an ingredient, put it into that wrap with the turkey pan-fried in butter, and it is delicious. And this isn't chefy. You can do this intoxicated. It's really easy.
Just be careful with the knife.
Hot tip. There we go. Paul Kelly, we got to let you go. Just give me your 2-word, 1-word answer, whatever it is. We know you love the turkey. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Good stuffing.
Stuffing.
Really good stuffing.
There we go.
Actually, I also like with cabbage as well, but a really good stuffing, you can't beat it.
And it's easy to carve stuffing. I can even do that. All right.
Paul Kelly, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. We needed your tips. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. All right, we're going to end this hour with a nod to man's best friend. If you've ever owned a dog, then you know just how much happiness the pets can bring into your life. Well, I found out how one organization is bringing that happiness to everyone by training your dog to become a therapy dog.
At PS 33, an elementary school in Manhattan, they're redefining teacher's pet with a dog named Oliver.
Really is a rock star here. He's a superstar. Oliver!
The popular Labrador is actually more of a student's pet.
No parent is going to believe this pigtail story.
Frequently visiting the school and sitting in on reading classes.
When I read to Oliver, he's somebody that actually listens to me.
He knows like what people are saying when you read to him.
And that is why Oliver's owner, Martha Gold, has been bringing the dog here for the past 4 years.
No judgment from a dog. The kids that feel funny about reading in public or even speaking in public feel good with him.
Harvey, sit. Hi.
Oliver is a product of the Good Dog Foundation.
Sit. Stay.
Which trains up to 300 therapy dog teams a year. Dogs like Harvey.
He seems very nice.
His owner, Nicole Lakin, just knew this was the tiny pup's calling.
He walked up to somebody in a wheelchair and stuck his head up into the guy's hand so that he could pet him. And I was like, well, that was pretty impressive.
So you told her, right?
Pretty much. That's pretty much the way our relationship works.
Good boy. Good stay.
The canine students and their owners take 4 classes focused on basic obedience and impulse control.
They can communicate through body language and eyes contact. And so, like that.
Laska, a magnetic Siberian Husky, just graduated in March and went right to work.
From that moment, it was love at first sight.
Laska and his owner, Emily Kay, visit the new Jewish home, a nursing home in New York, every week.
It seems like when you need them, they're there for you.
That's as important to our healing as the medicine I take.
So socializing with Laska can help you heal too.
Oh, yeah. That is written in stone as far as I'm concerned. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Look at that.
Back at PS 33, the principal says thanks to Oliver, her students' reading skills are flourishing.
There's a connection that Oliver has with all the students that really feeds into their souls and spirits.
Companionship that goes beyond language, courtesy of good dogs who are good for humans.
They just, see what's in front of them and they love us no matter what.
The Good Dog Foundation says its therapy dogs help about 100,000 people a year. While they're based in the tri-state area, they do offer a preparatory course through Zoom to see if your dog might be a good fit. I think you know the answer to that one already.
My dog wouldn't be good at that, but she's very good at soothing me.
That's what matters.
You know?
That's the most important thing.
Only those that she knows well.
Exactly. Which is all she really
But what a sweet piece. So fun to get to see all those dogs.
That does it for this hour. Morning News Now.
But the news continues right now.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.